Honest lot. La 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 la.
At the top is just us. Just us.
Big Al's in the place!
We're the best right now, best in Europe, best here.
I would have agreed with you if you said Arsenal are one of the best teams in the world. Yeah,
Correct.
then just stop.
I agree. Are we not allowed to have chest?
I hope when we beat them, the apology is as loud as the disrespect.
Arsenal went out there and they dominated from start to finish. The only chances Madrid got were Arsenal mistakes.
I think to say Spurs being in a title race at any time of your life,
Exactly.
should be sentenced to death.
All the evidence that
I call this the Florian Wirtz 008. I got it from the German Argos. It's absolutely incredible. Gets into the corners very tight, covers loads of grass.
They're missing the creativity of Trent
creativity.
Alexander.
Absolutely.
You know, because
I am Liverpool Football Club. I made you what you were, Trent.
Real Madrid.
Not Hala Madrid, Hala Liverpool.
like, he was the best right back in England, right? So
Are
how
you
could you
missing
not
him?
miss him?
be honest, you are missing his creativity.
Big Popper says. I mean, Flex always criticises Van Dijk. He's the best there is, and there ever will be.
Well, that's not true.
Isak started.
Oh!
Van Dijk played.
Oh!
Stretching.
Oh!
Pilates.
Oh!
That was the performance against Chelsea.
You lot brutal today, man.
The head coach, Arne Slot, you're the head coach. This is on you. You go and fix this.
If you draw this game, I'm sorry, it's not a disaster.
When I suggested that we could beat them, you lot was hammering me.
But you can't say after 8 games, it's
not
me,
8 games.
for me, that
not
you're
8
now
games.
the best.
No, because you're gonna. I know what you're gonna do. Like
What am I going to do?
the history of the Arteta.
The progression.
I don't think Christian is like super delusional in this take. And like this is obviously coming from me when it comes to Arsenal.
What the
okay?
hell's happened to
What
you?
the
Guys,
hell?
fans are backing up. Fair enough.
You're sick.
No.
Bro, do you want me to not give an opinion until May, until we lift it?
No,
Absolutely not.
No.
We'll get into the score predictions now. Liverpool must win this game.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to Live at 5. We're here on a Wednesday, a cold Wednesday, by the way. It's nicer here in the studio, but I don't know where you guys are in the world, but here I'm kind of cold. Today, I'm joined on my right. She's back. It's Abby.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. Sorry, guys. I was running very late, so we made it. We made it.
You made
You'd
it.
never know that we got here
I think
3 minutes before.
The latest I've been for Live at 5 is 5 on the dot.
On the
Do you remember
dot.
when I literally
Dashed
ran?
the
Literally, it
bag.
was like all the way down the road up there for about 5 minutes sprint to here. Dashed my bag down, sat down, and I spoke. Then every time the camera cut off me, I had to turn around and go,
He couldn't breathe.
because it was rough. And then on my left, Ben's back for the second day in a row. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. We all made it on time, so it's a good start to
Yeah,
the show.
we've made it. We have made it. And today, it's coming up to Christmas, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you guys are. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm sure I'm rushing to get my Christmas shopping done because every year I leave it to the last week,
What
just
do you
before
still need to
Christmas. I've still got to buy about 4 different presents. I think I'm
Okay.
about halfway there. And I've got about four left that I
I've-
need to buy for different people.
I've had a result this year because
Yeah?
me and my family are going away together. That was our present, so there's no presents.
Oh, that's unreal.
Unreal. Had a
Yeah.
right
To be fair, it's
result.
not a bad holiday either.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. That's what you just should do in future. Just be like, guys, let's just go on holiday because then you don't have to get any presents.
That's so
Loophole.
true. You are smart.
Smart. We're
How's
smart.
your Christmas shopping going?
It's all but done, really, and you'd
You
hope so
finished?
because it's not that long. We've only got 8 days left, and I'm
I
going
know.
away 2 days before. So
Nice.
I'm well aware that we've only got a couple of days left. It's been rough for me, but we're not the only ones shopping around this Christmas.
No.
Premier
no. League
League sides are as well. This season,
Get
by the way,
shopping.
I saw a tweet from someone called Alice Talks Footy. Shout out
Yes.
to Alice, she's fantastic. She put a tweet down which
It's
I
not
just felt,
Alice the dog, right?
not Alice the dog,
because
different.
that would have been a
Alice.
good account for Alice the dog.
I've been campaigning to
Yes.
get her. I've been thinking about giving her a football TikTok page.
You should.
I think it'd be so funny.
I think you should do it. What you waiting for?
Alice the DR dog.
Yeah.
I
love that.
I got to think up some content ideas and then just turn Alice into a whole separate DR person.
You have to obviously, GDPR, get her permission first.
That's true. That's very, very true, of course. Oh, I just put 2 balls down and go yes, or no.
Imagine she says no.
Oh, then she wouldn't be allowed back on the show. But yeah, I've got. Well, what was I talking about?
We were talking about shopping.
The Christmas shopping. That's it. Oh yeah, so Alice was basically said she put a tweet out basically saying that United have won 2 of their last 7 and they've gone from 9th to 6th in that time, which is ridiculous because the Premier League season this
Crazy.
season has been ridiculous. And so I've got a sneaky feeling there's going to be a pretty active window in January.
Yeah.
So the reason I was asking you guys about your Christmas wish lists and your Christmas shopping list is because your club, everyone out there, your club's going to be doing some Christmas shopping as well. So I want to kind of have a bit of a deeper dive today to talk about which players should be on the different Christmas wish lists, what positions there should be. And I want to start with Chelsea, funny enough. I know you got Spurs, United and Arsenal, but I do want to start with Chelsea because Matt Laws today has come out and he said that Chelsea plan a midfield summer signing to ease Caicedo and Fernandez's workload. But, there's a chance that could be accelerated towards January because they've previously shown an interest in Mainoo and Adam Wharton.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah. So Chelsea, I don't know how you guys feel about Chelsea, and also you guys in the comments as well. But Chelsea, I feel like midfield is an area they keep buying for.
There's 250 million on Caicedo and Fernandez. Isn't it?
And then they keep buying for. And I would be gutted if I saw Mainoo going to Chelsea because they've liked Mainoo. If they were the first club to register interest in Mainoo around this time last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was just before the January window when it first came out that. So Chelsea were looking at both Garnacho and Mainoo from Man United. Obviously, they ended up getting Garnacho. But I don't know how you guys feel, or you guys in the comments feel, about Chelsea trying to sign more players, or if they should be looking elsewhere. Because yesterday against Cardiff, it took £90 million worth of substituted wingers to beat a League One team.
Well, that's not the first time we've seen this happen with Chelsea. We've seen it in recent weeks that their first 11 is very good and on their day can beat anyone and look like world beaters. But as soon as you start dipping into the rest of their billion-pound players, they just can't do it. They're not very good. We're talking about League One opposition here, and Chelsea, who, if we go back a few weeks ago, we were including in a title race. So I don't know why there is such a drop-off. I think for Chelsea, unless you have Colwill and Fofana as your first choices, the rest is just really not that good. Like Chalobah is probably a third choice centre back, realistically, second at a push. I know that Tosin obviously isn't good enough either, and I feel like Matisse has made that abundantly clear as well. So I think I think Chelsea's biggest problem is having leaders, really, especially from the back. Like when you go back years and years, obviously, and look at the great Chelsea teams, massive, strong personalities, especially at the back. Whether you had Cech, whether you had Ivanovic, whether you had John Terry, Ashley Cole, like you had such an incredible back line, Carvalho, like then you had Drogba's, you had what's his name, Lampard. So they had such an incredible that guy, that guy, that bloke. So when you've not had, it's a different Chelsea model now, it's a different Chelsea structure, and obviously they are incredibly young, but in most areas they're still very young. But Reece James is kind of the only one that's really the leader, I feel like, in that Chelsea side. So as soon as you kind of drop down to like the next batch of players, they're not at the same level. And I think that you've got to start from the back. And I think that they call it the A and the B sided centre halves. They need an A sided centre half massively. Yeah, I do. So just to go through their starting 11 last night, so I was just taking a look at it now. And so as one of the comments says, Jamie Easton said, Cardiff played Chelsea off the park. I didn't watch the game. I watched bits of it last night. I
haven't watched the game, but I kind of kept up with it through a mate of mine who's a Chelsea fan who just kept raging in a group chat we have. But their starting 11 was Jorgensen in goal, and then you got Hato, Badiashile, Tosin and Achimpong at the back, which are 4 players that they signed to be, Premier League players. Like Badiashile, believes, didn't he come from Monaco a few years ago and stuff. Like these guys they have experience. And then Caicedo and Santos in the pivot with Gittins, Buonanotte, who to this day I don't understand why they signed him.
It's such a bizarre, random signing.
George on the right, and then Guiu up top.
Yeah.
I feel like there are areas I understand why Chelsea want a midfield to maybe rest Caicedo and thing like that. They got Santos, who's been good, and they've got who did Elijah mention? No, someone mentioned Chelsea King 879 mentions Dario as well. But yeah, I do agree that I feel like maybe midfield get an extra option in, but I actually think they should go for like experience up top more than anything, because they've got João Pedro, who's not a striker with the best will in the world, but he's playing up front. Delap, who's getting injured left, right and centre at the moment, and also he's like 22, 23, he's not been fantastic. Then you got Gittins, who we all know is like not as massively experienced in English football. You got Tyreek George, who's looked good at points, but mainly in the Carabao Cup, which makes Garnacho potentially their most experienced and reliable forward player. And Garnacho is 21.
Yeah, which is crazy work.
Yeah.
Crazy work. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there needs to be a sprinkle of all of that in every area of that Chelsea team. Like I just mentioned about the centre backs, I think that's key. But I think Mainoo, does that add the experience?
Oh,
that
Neto
they
as well.
want?
Sorry, thank you.
I don't necessarily know if that adds like the experience that they want or they need. I mean, every team would love to have Mainoo. I'd love to have him at Tottenham, obviously. And like if they can get him, then fair. But that's more just to obviously rotate and rest. That's not going to necessarily change the trajectory. Their trajectory. Thank you, of Chelsea. But I think striker-wise, they need that. But then obviously Cole Palmer's back. Are they going to play with an out-and-out striker? Like, they probably would have been all right to keep Nicholas Jackson, you know.
In retrospect, yeah. Well,
So funny.
Wasn't Matisse very against getting rid of Jackson to start
Yeah,
with, right?
I think he was, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, from what I remember.
It's been a long 6 months.
It's been a weird 6 months.
Telling me. Yeah.
Do you think maybe, Ben, that kind of these issues we're talking about, maybe Chelsea don't need someone such up front, like an experienced person up front if Cole Palmer's coming back. But at the same time, is a lot of Chelsea's hopes, maybe the second half of the season, relying on Cole Palmer very quickly getting back to his best?
Well, I think you're always going to rely on your best players to deliver you the results, really. And João Pedro, when Cole Palmer, or at least in the Club World Cup that I watched bits of, when Cole Palmer was behind him, he looked, 2 times the player that he's looked for most of the Premier League season. When I've watched him, I've had him in my fantasy for half the year, and it's about 1 in every 4 game weeks or 5 game weeks that he's seemingly delivered. So
allergic to having
I would say centre back. I mean, when you were saying about centre back, I think they've not had a commanding presence there since Rudiger left, really. Like, he was the one that you look at and he's the leader in that back line, and they don't really have a leader in that back line.
Yeah, they really don't, because it's tossing, and I know that I think every Chelsea fan on the planet at the moment is a massive fan of him.
The favourite partnership would always be Fofana and Chalobah. Fofana and Colwill. But again, injury has not allowed that to happen. It's not a partnership that can really develop because there's been so many injuries.
They always have so many injuries as well, don't they, Chelsea?
Yeah.
It feels like at any given moment.
At centre-back, they have done.
At centre-back, and then also I think up front as well. Like the midfield, that might be why they're targeting midfield, because it's one area that's not been hit by injury too much yet. But maybe it's just because they know it's coming at some point. But I do feel like with Chelsea in the last few seasons, there's always so many injuries. Do they then bring in so many players and then they get injured, and then you kind of people like spawn in who they signed 2 years ago.
You can't help that, because every team gets injuries and then you have to go into your squad depth. But we're talking about a team last year that essentially the team they'll put out against Cardiff or someone like in lower opposition is the team that they won the Conference League with. But that isn't good enough to really be used in the Premier League.
Yeah, I hear it. Christopher does say Matisse said he wouldn't mind getting rid of Jackson if Chelsea bring in another option, and in the end recalling you was the option, which just wasn't good enough.
And Buonanotte.
Yeah, and Buonanotte.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like they signed Buonanotte and then he went, I can't wait to play in the Champions League, and then they decided not to include him in the Champions League squad. Then there was an injury and then he got included.
It's bizarre.
It's really, really bizarre. Yeah. Like I know Chelsea's like, this is why with Chelsea, admittedly, I find it hard to kind of think about a Christmas wish list for them. Because the way, but then
they're not going to do that in Christmas,
because the way they operate makes it like I'm never quite sure if a signing is meant to be like a first team signing or someone to flip in a few years.
They tend to not really sign ready-made players as such anymore. Like even Cole Palmer wasn't a ready-made player. That was a player that we didn't know what he was going to look like at the time. We were like 50 million, 50
and
million.
he just looked kind of decent for City.
Million. Yeah, he looked decent and wasn't getting in there, but there was still a punt like that you were taking.
Yeah,
him in.
45
like they're doing
quid,
so much of their business kind of in South America and places like that. Like look at Esteval, for example, and they've got, I can't remember who they signed a couple of weeks ago that they've just signed, but like a lot of their business is being done on young talent that's been scouted and like will come good because it obviously has a sell-on value at some point. But I think in order for Chelsea to actually be taken seriously in terms of being able to create a title charge, you're going to have a little bit of a sprinkle in there with some actual ready-made talent.
Yeah.
In terms of Jan, I don't know whether or not they look at the centre-back situation. Well, it depends. Imagine if they try and get Mark Gahey back. They could. Wouldn't be out of the realms of something Chelsea
I'm
would
actually
do.
happy you brought up Mark Gahey, because I reckon there are 2 players in the Premier League that can pretty much sum up every single person's wish, like every big club's wish list at the moment, which is Gahey and Semenyo.
Yeah.
Those 2 players are on specifically those 2, at least for Premier League, I think are on everybody's wish. I've never seen a player more unanimously linked to the entire top 6 than Semenyo.
Yeah, it's mad.
The way that this £65 million release clause, or 60 plus £5 million release clause, is like, it's just teetering on the edge of good value that every single club has gone, oh,
Yeah.
Let me listen to that one again. Because even like United a few weeks ago, it was saying that United weren't massively interested in him, and then now it's
You
coming
don't
out.
really need him.
We don't really need him, but
Where would you play him?
he would just be another option.
But that's
is what
not
it
really-
is.
And
like-
left wing back, apparently.
Left wing back.
Wait, I think it would be a
Don't
case.
ruin the boy.
He would be.
You've ruined so many.
He would be what Ahmad is currently for us right now. Is it should be both. That's how I think it would be. But then again, we played it against Bournemouth. We basically played a back 4.5.
Well, that worked well.
It was really bizarre. It was
Good job not conceding.
I know,
Oh,
isn't
God.
it? This is Ben was he was here yesterday when I was talking about it. Was for me it was that we played the right formation and then every single one of the players we played in the back four was in the wrong position. Dallo, a right back, was at left back. Luke Shaw, a left back, was at centre back. Aidan Heaven was at centre back, but he's the least experienced centre back in our entire squad. And then Lenny Yoro, who's a centre back, played at right back.
Bizarre.
It was very bizarre when you could just do Dallo, Yoro, Heaven, and Shaw.
Whose decision was that?
Ruben Amorim's. Yeah, no, I know. Like Ronnie Dodge literally says here, he says, "Wishlist, get a manager who knows what United means." That's pretty harsh, but Ronnie, I know you know how I feel about Ruben Amorim. I know you guys know how I feel about Ruben Amorim.
Yeah. If I was Semenyo, I wouldn't waste my time being.
If I was somebody, I
I
wouldn't
think
go
he's
anywhere
got a
near
lot
United.
better options on the table.
He does,
than
yeah.
United's current state.
The way that Semenyo would fit in best for us is if we got rid of someone like Mount. But we're not going to get rid of someone
No,
like
you're not
Mount
gonna get
because
rid of
Mount's A, I really like him. I want to keep him, and B, he's Ruben Amorim's child, effectively.
Well, he's actually been alright since coming back.
He's been fantastic this season.
Yeah.
Like it took him 2 years.
It was injured for a
It
lot
took him
of that.
2 years to become good, but suddenly he looks like a player you'd pay 40, 50 million quid for out of nowhere. But it's the fact that it's taken us 2 years to get here, which is so infuriating. And now we've changed a system where he doesn't actually have a spot in it.
Oh yeah.
This is what's so weird. is
Sorry,
that-
I haven't seen you since obviously before the game. I just wanted to ask
Yeah.
you, what did you think about the formation change?
I'm really happy with the introduction, the ideas he had on the pitch, and then the wrong players were in the positions to actually execute them.
Okay.
I do think the way we set up was fantastic for our attack, and that was the best first half I've seen. Because this season,
First half you were
so much of our problem this season has been first halves. Like our first half against Crystal Palace, terrible.
Yeah.
First half against Nottingham Forest, all right, but not great. Even against Spurs, I know we scored, but we still weren't amazing in that first half.
Yeah.
First half, Everton, first half, terrible. West Ham, first half, not that good either. Its first halves have been our main problem this season. That first half was amazing. That was fantastic. Like we were flying. We had
Second half?
We had. Well, let me just finish on the first half. We had 17 shots in that first half, which I believe was the most of any club in the first half this season in the league. Second half was then terrible. Well, first 15 minutes, woeful, beyond terrible. Bournemouth came out and went, you know what, we're just going to pass straight through the middle of you. And they went, oh wait, we can just keep doing this. And they kept doing it. And they, you know what, we're going to run through the middle of you now. Just run through the middle, run through the middle, run through the middle. As soon as Mainoo came on, game changed. I know that was the same time as they were 3-2 up. So that changes kind of, they obviously will sit back a bit. The dynamic changes. But Mainoo came on and it was amazing. How I feel about this is our attack was set up correctly and very, very well. There's a reason we scored 4.
Yeah.
Because we were set up brilliantly.
Just the rest of the team, maybe not so much.
But the rest of the team, we were missing the players that would fit best in that team, if that makes sense. If you swap out Delit, so Heaven for Delit, right? Semenyo's first goal doesn't go in because Delit would come over and cover that. The reason Semenyo scored is because Heaven, bless him, basically just went, here you go.
The Van Dijk special.
I'll go. It really was the Van Dijk special. You just kind of like sit there, I don't want to say aura farming.
Aura farming.
Well, you know how Van Dijk sits there and he's there waiting for the one-on-one, waiting for the one-on-one, and
guy
someone just boots it past him.
Yeah.
The jockeying king he is.
Aura farming.
And then the other one was Lenny Yoro playing in that like right back / centre back role. That's actually very well suited to Mazraoui.
Obviously,
I think. Yeah, like it's suited to Mazraoui because Mazraoui can play centre back and right back. Yoro, it seems to be better on the left than the right at the moment. So if we had those two back, we win that game 4-1 or 4-2. Is how I see about that, because the three, especially their first goal, not the free kick, but the third
free kick was
the free kick was just a fantastic free kick. Casemiro had no choice but to just take that yellow. That's where I'm looking at Lamans and going, like, you shouldn't be letting that in. That's the only goal out of those three where I look at Lamans and go, that was on you more than anyone else. But with the other two, I just don't think we can see those few goals, which is what kind of gives me hope that if he keeps going with this change, we might start drawing fewer
We might
games
be
and actually
good.
start. Yeah.
Hope
Goals
that's
aren't
okay, mate.
goals. Honestly, goals aren't a problem for us. I really
No,
don't
it's
think
just
they are.
that
Second
can't-
most goals
It's
in the league.
conceding goals. Yeah.
Conceding
So
goals.
we're on course for 70 goals in the league this season, which has only happened once since Sir Alex Ferguson retired for us.
Really?
Yeah, we're on course for either the second or the most goals we've scored in a season in over a decade. Goals, not fussed with. Even with Šeško having scored 2. Like Bruno Fernandes is scoring and Bumo is scoring. Cunha's got his second. Šeško's got 2 and hopefully come back. Mason Mount's grabbed a few. They're spread out and we're scoring goals. So
Yeah.
I'm really not worried about that. But
Okay.
it's conceding goals. But the way that we set up, I know we conceded 4, but with different players in that setup, I think we do better.
So what's on your Christmas wish list?
What's on my Christmas wish list is a left back / left wing back. Because as much as I'd like to see Shaw there's obviously the odds that his hamstring will decide to just disappear.
True.
Like in February or something, and he'll be done. But it is it's a World Cup year, Luke Shaw as well. He turns into some like kind of absolute animal second half of the season
That's
during
true.
the World Cup year as well. But left back / left wing back, because Dorgu I'm becoming less convinced on.
That was a January signing last year, wasn't it?
That was a
Like,
January signing
Was
last
it the
year.
first signing that Ruben Amorim made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's his first signing because we needed someone on that left-hand side. It's not quite worked out so far. He might be a decent fullback though, and also midfield. My January wish list is the sale of Mainoo Ugarte. That is on my wish list. Is
Okay.
getting him out
Well, he's
because
also not even been there that long as well.
18 months.
Time flies.
Yeah. But he's just not good enough.
Is he on big wages as well? Or
Nah,
he's not.
I don't even think he's on massive wages. Like, if we can get 20 to 25 from Galatasaray, because apparently teams in Turkey, he's the perfect, Turkey player. Not quite worked out the big 6 clubs, but he's played for PSG, he played for Sporting, played for United.
Sounds like Galatasaray all over.
Well, that's the team that are interested in the
Yeah.
most. If we can get 20 to 25 for Galatasaray, from Galatasaray or whatever, for him, that'll force us to bring in a new midfielder, and I think that would be perfect. But yeah, my wish list is mainly to do with Amorim keeping this formation. Because I feel like if they go to AFCON and then they come back and Amorim just changes back again, all the good work.
So is this the formation that you're going to be playing while they're gone?
I hope so. Honestly, I never know with Amorim. Because he sat there going, nothing changed, I didn't change anything, blah, blah, when he clearly did. But he's just trying to make a point. Amorim, I think at the moment he's quite in his kind of make a point phase.
Make a point back.
He
Okay.
He kind of wants to make a statement about something. But yeah, that's my wish list: a midfielder and a wing back if we can. But I feel like we're gonna leave them to the summer unless Ugarte goes. That's how it is for me.
Okay.
But yeah, the Bournemouth game I needed about 48 hours to process it.
It was a lot. I love how it was silent after at Old Trafford as well. It was quiet.
Yeah.
Everyone was in shock.
Everyone was in
fuming.
shock.
Yeah.
It was a good game of football.
Bruno Fernandes
game of
was
the
livid.
season, for sure.
Oh, easily game of the season. I thought that City Fulham game was game of the season.
Oh yeah,
Nah.
actually that's a
But
contender. as
that's
well.
up there.
But the thing is that City were never really losing.
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
game.
yeah,
This
yeah.
game, we had the lead 3 times. They had an equaliser twice, and they had the lead once as
It
well.
was a mad game.
And also Lamons with some satanic level saves at the end
Yeah.
to keep our half-time record as well.
Mental.
He made 3 saves that game, and 2 of them came right in those last couple minutes to literally save our entire record. I had it loaded up and ready on United District. I had the tweet, I had the graphic, everything loaded up, just saying
It
record
ends.
gone. I had it there, ready and loaded in the drafts.
He
to put
saved
up.
you.
Yeah, and he saved us.
What's on your Christmas wish list then, Ben, for Arsenal?
I think if there was anyone, it would be Semenyo, but I'm struggling to pick out a specific area where
Do
I
you
think
really think that you need
we don't.
him?
No, we don't need him really. There's not really a specific
they do.
area where I guess the defensive injuries you might want more there, but you still have 2 players in each position when everyone's back fit. So it's then a case of if you go and sign someone for 40, 50 million, then where are they going to play when everyone comes back? So in terms of Trossard's been phenomenal, but he's getting old. So maybe it could be a case of if you were to bring in Semenyo, then you could move him on in the summer and actually recoup a fee for him rather than losing him for free. But there's no one that really screams out to me besides potentially Semenyo, really.
I feel like Semenyo's a kind of, if you were to sign Semenyo this summer, and I don't think you will, and January, if you were to try and sign him, that would be your only chance, because I don't see him being at Bournemouth second half of the season. He's going somewhere, and I think
it'll be Liverpool.
Personally,
yeah.
I think it's Liverpool.
Yeah.
But it would be because you're planning on selling at least one of Trossard and Martinelli in the summer. More likely Trossard, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because you gave him that contract extension, but without a raise, didn't you?
No, I think it was actually a raise without extending any
That
years
was
on
it.
his
Sorry,
contract.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was a raise, but keeping contract the same. So I feel like maybe you
Didn't
rewarding
go down
him
well
for a
at the
little
time,
bit.
to be honest, but he's actually been
Trossard's
one of
been
our best players
clutch
this season.
player for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clutch. I remember when you signed him, and it was the same time that you were looking at Mudryk.
It was instead of
And I remember doing transfer dailies for DR and being like, don't like, he's a good player. Like, he's a good player for, like, him coming off the bench will serve you. Like,
Prem proven, man.
That's what you want.
Always the way.
Like, you had a right result with that.
No, he was only like 25 million as well.
Bargain.
I think it's been a really good buy.
Oh, it's such a good buy for you, but I feel like one of those, Martinelli or Trossard, is going in the summer. Assuming you'd rather it be Trossard.
Yeah.
Even well, on form, I think. Well, actually, both of them have been pretty good.
Both
of
them have been.
Times, Martinelli was really poor at the start of the season. Everyone was on his back, and then all of a sudden he's come up with a lot of goals. Like, he's 5-5 in the Champions League, 5 appearances, 5 goals, which is
it's the first time anyone's done that.
Yes,
isn't it?
for a crazy record to hold. So you can't. He's been great as well.
Yeah, I just feel like with Arsenal, buying Semenyo probably would be a really smart move for you. But it would be a smart move because it'll be future-proofing. It'd be future-proofing. Like, also, let's say it was Trossard you'd go with. You'd be replacing, how old is Trossard? 28, 29 now?
How old is Semenyo?
Semenyo's 24. Okay. Yeah.
Trossard's 31
31, so you'd be replacing a 31-year-old with someone who's arguably
Semenyo's
already
25.
Better. 25 then, but someone who's arguably already better than him and 6 years younger than him.
Do Arsenal have money to spend in January?
Well, I don't know. We probably are quite close on the FFP because what was it? 270 million if you're counting a Hincapié loan, which is an option to buy rather than
summer.
Yeah, so I think we're probably quite close because again, the only major sale we made was Kivior, which was again that's a loan with I think it will be triggered to buy with like 25 million. Besides that, we really didn't sell anyone. So in terms of FFP, we're probably quite close on the lines of that.
I feel like actually, I've got a question for you, Ben. Who in your squad would you be happy to sell if Semenyo was to... You know how Mbumo basically went, I want United, and he made it known. Who in your squad would you be happy to give away to try and raise that 65 mil to get in Semenyo? Or would you rather the club just didn't do it?
I don't know. There isn't really anyone that screams to me sell to fund it, really. Like, because, I mean, at points people would be saying Martinelli, at points people would be saying Trossard, but at the moment both of them have really stepped up. So it's... Because last season they were both like people. Our front line was screaming out for goals, and none of them were really coming up with any goals. I don't know who ended up top scorer. It might have even been Saka or Havertz, and Havertz missed the last 3-4 months of the season. So yeah, I don't have a straightforward answer to that really. I wouldn't. There's not really anyone that I'd want to see go. With like Gyökeres has not been great, but you can't get rid of him after 4 or 5 months of adapting to a new league and all of that sort of stuff. So. It's a difficult one, really, I think.
Yeah. Zayn Hanif's asked a question. He said, Abby and Dylan, if you had to make one Christmas wish list, what would it be? Football and non-football?
Oh, for football, it would be... Well, how many people can I have? Like, how many things can I have?
One.
I would ask for no injuries. That would be my Christmas wish.
Fair enough. Have you got a non-football one?
Have a happy 2026.
Oh, is that not technically more of a New Year thing?
No, just be happy.
Nice, that's nice. See, because non-football, I was going to go with new cologne, which is a little more
You're
practical.
You're like, just like a new perfume.
Well, I need to buy one. But football-wise, would definitely be Champions League. Give me Champions League.
Do you think that's real? Do you think you'll get it?
Yeah, no, as in like finishing top 5. This is the thing.
I
keep thinking we can get it, and then we keep pulling off draws.
Attract the same players, whether or not they are or they're not in it.
Yeah, but I want to be in the Champions League.
Not good enough, mate. Neither are Spurs.
I know.
Neither of us are.
I think we could be. I think
the only reason you're honestly looking half decent is because you're playing one game a week.
That's not the only reason we look decent.
Well, it's not.
We also have a plethora of fantastic players.
Okay, fine, a bit, but it's not.
We do.
It's not because of the coaching.
We've got great players in our squad.
You've got some really good players. I don't feel like you've got a great squad. My personal thing.
No. We've got a good squad and we've got great players. But I feel like if we hit Champions League, we'd then be able to create a much better squad. We have a Champions League level attack, 100%.
Rest of it.
Midfield, no, because we don't have a midfield. The midfielders we have,
Defense.
Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo, Champions level players.
Defense,
we need improvement on big time.
Okay, so we have one bit. I could sit there and say, well, I know that I've got a World Cup winner in my squad and Mickey van der Ven's really great. And on their day, Doggy and Porro are great as well. But the rest of the team is...
But we have a load of Champions League level players in our team. It's just they're kind of scattered around among
which
players.
Who would you have as Champions League?
Right.
level?
Okay. I'm gonna get.
Bodo Glimt level.
I'm gonna get. No, I'm talking like a team that like like when you think of like Champions League level players, you think the players who can play for the big clubs.
Yeah. So who would those be?
I'm gonna get United's squad list up just so I don't forget anyone. So
Ramo,
I will.
Cunha.
This is gonna be another thing of where I end up trapping myself by naming
Basically.
players, don't I? Isn't
Yep.
it? Right. I would say
Be careful.
goalkeepers. None of them yet.
Yeah.
Don't think none of them. I would say Matthias de Ligt, Champions League level
Oh
player.
yeah, he's played in Champions League.
Yeah, Mazwari, Champions League level player. Not Leacher because he gets injured too much, but Leacher when he's good, he's good. Same with Luke Shaw. Like I kind of like I semi count them, semi don't because they get injured far too often.
We've got two. So
Lenny
far,
Yoro can be. Lenny Yoro can be because he's 20. I'd then go Mason Mount. Literally has one.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you've got to say that they are if they go on. Bruno Fernandes, yes.
Yeah.
Kobe Mainoo, yes. Absolutely. You can't be doing what he did with England before without being a Champions League level player. Casemiro, I don't know. Yes, because he's got 5, I'd say, but maybe,
You're not talking
maybe
about
he's on the
historically.
down.
We can say that
Talking about
Casemiro
right now,
is a brilliant midfielder and had a wonderful time previously. Is he at the
Casemiro,
level
to be fair, I think will cut it in the Champions League because the Champions League is probably actually not as hard as the Premier League. In terms of, you see how many of the Premier League sides are absolutely blasting everyone out the water in the Champions League. Even Liverpool, bro. Liverpool are collecting wins against Real Madrid and
Dylan,
everything.
You literally have played one game a week because you couldn't beat Grimsby, mate.
I know.
What makes you think that you just go to the Champions League and just blow teams out of the water?
No, I'm saying if we got Champions League, we get that £100 million stimmy. No, because if we got Champions League, that would be probably an extra 80 to 100 million quid in the transfer window,
Does help,
and we'd be able to get rid of half these other players.
Squad.
We got 5
but
players
and then
right
because
now
the thing is, right, this is why I'm saying we improved our attack in the last last window, and we bought 3 players in Mbeumo, Cunha, and Šeško, who I think are Champions League level players. Plus we have Ahmad, who I think is amazing, and then we got players like Bruno and Kobe. So our attack, I think, is good enough to compete, not for the Champions League title, but with other Champions League level teams. It's the defence that we need extra spending on to get to that level as well. If we then hit the top 5 of the Premier League places in this season, if we do, which is definitely touch wood, but a big if, we then be able to actually buy these defenders and buy a new midfield. Go and get Elliot Anderson or someone like that, who is another Champions League level quality player, that then makes us a full-on Champions League level squad. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I do. But I don't. I think that the question was.
We got 5 players that you said were the Champions League level.
But then also Cunha. I also said Cunha and Mbeumo, Šeško, and Ahmad. And I know we're talking about Bruno and Mainoo as well. That comes to 9.
Is good enough as it is to be competitive in the Champions League currently. The same way that I don't think my squad is.
There's
good
being
enough to be
competitive in terms of actually winning it, and there's being knocked out in the last 16.
But I'm not saying right now this current squad we have.
but
I'm saying I want Champions League
Sure.
because the window we're about to then have in the summer makes us Champions League level competitive. Not to win it. Again, I'm not saying to win it.
I think Rome
but I'm
wasn't
saying
built
to
in a
actually
day.
be able to do something.
I think Rome wasn't built in a day. Honestly,
I know.
Like, I understand why you would want Champions League. Of course, I get that, and the financial impact that also gives. But do I think that United are there right now? No, I think that United.
No, we're not there right now. This is why I'm talking about the transfer window. I'm saying my wish list is to get to the Champions
No, I know,
League
but
to buy
we've
these
actually
players.
gone off of what the topic of the question was.
We're talking about wish list.
Yeah, but
I'm saying I want to get Champions League.
Yeah.
And then you said, no, because your squad's not good enough right now. But my wish is that my hope is we get Champions League.
Yeah, my wish is to win the Premier League, but
No, that's not a realistic wish, though.
neither is yours.
We can finish top 5.
Yeah, you can, because you've got one game a week. 'Cause you couldn't even beat.
Yes, so therefore, it is a realistic
Oh
wish.
no, sorry, we were actually talking about Casemiro. That's where we turned. That's where we turned. Sorry, that's where we actually.
Dylan, would you rather qualify for the Europa League, win Europa League, or Champions League next season, but you're out in, let's say, the last 16? Which one are you picking?
As in qualify for the Europa League and win the Europa League next season.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it would be the Europa League route.
Mm-hmm. But and then you'd be in the Champions League next year, wouldn't you? Guarantee,
you'd be, but because that would also be collecting, because also as well, us losing the Europa League to these lot last summer, it would make me feel a lot better about the fact that we lost our last two Europa League finals, which we shouldn't have. We're just being stupid in the final. But I know, I like it's ruined Bruno Fernandes' rep as well. If he had those two, he'd have a much better rep, I think. But the thing is like obviously ultimately I'd rather that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you saying right now, where would you rather finish in the league? It's Champions League spots.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we end up getting knocked out.
We've got to see as well if the 5th place counts for Champions League or not. We'll have to see.
I think it will.
Probably, yeah.
I think it will, because English teams are smacking everyone, bar Newcastle, are smacking everyone in Europe. Because English teams are a level above, basically, I think, other teams in Europe at the moment. I really do.
I think you'll see us go out pretty quickly as soon as we get through the group.
What, you think
Say
knockout stage
like
will
Arsenal
hurt you?
are actually...
Big time. Well, I look at how we play against these teams and like Slavia Prague, for example. Like, yes, a win's a win and you don't really care how you get the goals. But like, I just know that when we come up against any type of opposition that actually can hurt you, because we'll always give the team chances. We gave Slavia Prague loads of chances. We give anyone loads of chances. So a team that can actually convert those chances, the deeper you get into the competition, we're nowhere near it. But that's why I always said about the Europa League. I never cared about being in the Champions League. Couldn't care less. I know we're nowhere near good enough to compete in it. What I wanted was the trophy. And that's why I also said, if someone said to me at the start of the season, you can finish 8th, you can have an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, I would have taken it. That's what I care about. I care about my days out. I care about what I'm going to remember when I'm old and I'm grey. Yeah, grey, yeah. So.
Yeah, you're not grey.
Have I got any greys? Yeah?
Not that I can see, no.
Okay.
We've got a lot of lights on here as well.
We've got a lot of lights on. Yeah, that's what I care about. Anyway, bring me Anton Semenyo.
Yeah, Semenyo is one for you as well. This is what I'm saying. It's so
Desperate.
funny how unanimously
he fits us.
Everybody.
He fits us perfectly. Like
on the left.
On the left, obviously, we needed someone. Should have done it in the summer. Didn't do it properly. Like we needed to have a Son replacement, ASAP for the left. That should have been planned.
Some of your left wing purchases in the last few years, mate, are quite funny.
Sickening.
You were like what, Timo Werner?
Do you know what?
You signed like twice.
He was so bad. Daniel Levy decided to sign him again. on like that, to the point where I'm pretty sure they just said to him for the rest of last season, like, just don't worry about coming back after you're injured. We'll just say you're injured, because there is such outrage about the fact that you're still here.
Solomon, he was a left winger.
Man, Solomon barely played. Never, like
Brian Gill.
Terrible.
About Tell.
Terrible.
Yeah, Matthijs
Brian
Tell.
Gill. What a waste of money.
How much was he? How much did you sign him for?
I don't even know. I think he was in the swap deal maybe for Lamella.
Oh, yeah, that's not great. Yeah, Matthijs Tell, you still spent about 30 million quid on him, didn't you?
Look, there's nothing against Tell. I think that if he was at a different club and had maybe time and investment in
That's actually something I've got to thank you for. Because he changed
Tell.
his mind to Spurs pretty last minute.
I don't think, look, I'll be honest, I don't think Tell is terrible. I just think that Spurs are terrible. So, yeah. I don't think he's by far not the worst player I've seen come through my club. I've seen some terrible players come through my club. He wouldn't make the top 10.
Yeah, equally, Abby, I've not seen you since the Nottingham Forest loss.
Oh, since another... Did I see you Monday?
No.
I just did. We were doing Weakest Link.
Oh, yeah, but you were busy being terrible on Weakest Link.
Right, I was actually deeping that on my way home, because my performance was so bad on Weakest Link. I went out early.
Oh yeah, Abby went out. He went out second.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
No spoilers.
Oh, it was bad. I had some shocking answers, by the way, as well. After you left, I said that Naples was the capital of Italy at one point.
Oh.
So the question was, what's the capital city of Italy? And I go, Naples, but then I start saying that, no, I didn't spoil the whole show. I still don't know who won.
I don't either.
I have no idea who won.
How?
I have to go and watch it to see.
I just said I did really badly. You're please.
Production call for Abby to be. No, we can't sack Abby.
God, if I haven't been sacked by now, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. So Arsenal, sorry, back on topic. Talking about in terms of wish lists. So with Arsenal, you just not really even have one.
Not really. I think if there's somewhat realistic, and as I said before, Semenyo is an Arsenal fan. That's a fact. If we went for him, I could see it happening. But whether we need to go for him, whether it's worth the money at this current moment in time. That's up for debate, really.
Yeah, Abby, is there any other positions? Obviously, I know left wing,
manager,
Semenyo, perfect. New manager?
Right, I'll tell you where Spurs need to strengthen in Jan.
It's going to be a long list.
Okay, right. Santa, baby, tell me. It is manager, owners. Then we'll move on to the team.
Goalkeeper, left back,
goalkeeper.
Right back.
No, I like my left back. A goalkeeper. It's not. He's not the priority. Like he is terrible. But he's not the priority. Left back, fine. Right back, fine-ish. Could be a bit more defensively solid, but whatever. Centre back is the back line is okay, despite conceding so many goals. Midfield. So I would like an attacking midfielder I would like a left winger, preferably 2 of those. I would like. I don't mind having Polinia, but I mean, it's very hard to get a good CDM. It's very hard to get one. Like that's.
Someone said a win for Tottenham.
A win would be good. Yeah,
a win would
Ryan
be bad.
Arsenal. A win would be banging. That would be wonderful. I'd like a striker. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Because if anyone's seen Dom Solanke, let us know. Yeah.
He posted a really, really, really vague Instagram story. A couple
Yeah,
of weeks
like
ago,
a
didn't he?
timer
When's he
saying
meant to be
soon.
back then or
No,
not?
we've passed.
Genuinely about 3 months.
Tommy
ago.
Honestly, we've
About
passed
3
every
months
single
ago.
expiry date for every single player. Bar Madison, who's obviously super long term. We've passed every single expiry date for every player that was meant to come back with no news. So basically, we need CDM, CAM, left wing. I mean, right wing's all right. I could do with someone else in like. I'd like another 10 maybe as well. We need striker and we need Jesus.
But in terms of what's realistic, where are the priorities? Like, if you can only
Left
probably
wing.
sign 2 players or at most, so
Left wing and need some goals. Left wing and a striker, I would say.
More than anything.
Like if you like Ivan Toney, I know I keep banging on about it and he's not coming back, but Ivan Toney would have been perfect. Ivan Toney, Semenyo. Yeah.
I do agree with you. I don't understand his as much as like what he says. Just the not coming back. He just Ivan Toney just isn't. I don't.
But it
quite
would have just been.
understand
It would have been really good. It would have been perfect.
It would have been amazing.
In my head, I had it all figured out.
You know what? There is actually. Ronnie Dodge says Abbey Wishlist for Spurs. They need a miracle.
They do. They need an exorcism. They need an exorcism. They need God. They need Jesus. They need whatever religious prayer idol that you want to pray to. They basically just need to be ripped up and start again. Like as Flex said about your club a few years ago, rip it up. Control Alt Delete. Start again.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know. We need. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan said, don't worry about Spurs and have a great Christmas. I intend to, mate. I don't let them. Actually, that's a lie, because I did actually get very, very heated the other day. That's the first time I got wound up in a long time about Spurs, like properly wound up.
What, on Monday?
Yeah. No, Sunday, actually.
On Sunday?
I was watching the game.
Oh, were you doing a live watch along?
I was at work, yeah.
I saw the clip on come up on TalkSport.
Yeah.
You were fuming. You were very, very angry.
full
Rightly
time
so
or
as well.
during the game.
Oh, during.
It was,
My head was on the moon.
You were calling for Thomas Frank, weren't you?
Yeah, just get out. Like, look, I tried. I
do-
argued with Spurs fans back on the train after the Chelsea game. I literally argued with them and being like, give him time. Look at what he's done at Brentford. We always sack managers, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? New evidence presented. Hold my hands up. I'm wrong.
Is it giving Big Nuno vibes?
I said in October there is grave danger of this becoming Nuno-esque. And it has. It's Nuno-esque. And it's sad. I wanted it to work. I like Thomas Frank. It's just not it.
You know, do a job for you. Definitely do a job for you as a manager, even if it's an interim, would be Solskjaer.
Shut up.
I really reckon he would.
Shut up.
No, man, he'd bring the good vibes back.
Shut up. No, I honestly don't know. I mean, like I said on Monday's show, if we have to stick with it to the end of the season, then fine. I couldn't tell you where we're going to finish, but like that. Look, there are a lot of parallels, like where it's not all on Thomas Frank. Like this is a squad that did finish 17th, and there is a lot of crap in that squad as well. Like that's not on Thomas Frank. However, when the football is so turgid, I was about to say something else, realised that I can't. When the football is so turgid, and you're losing all the time, you can't. It can't happen. So there's responsibility on the players, but you can't obviously sack a squad. It will always lie on the manager, and obviously the board and the ownership are always going to be held accountable by the fans for it, but they're not going anywhere. Can't get them out of my club. So I feel for him. It's the cards he's been dealt, plus he's obviously had his own issues with injuries. You know, when you're missing your front three, that's really not ideal. And they are. There is the same way we talk about Chelsea and say that when they're playing their first 11, obviously you see the drop off when you go into the rest of their squad. With Spurs, the rest of our squad is just tin pot. So when you take out those first 3 players that would start Solanke, Maddison, Kulusevski, you massively see a difference. And effectively for both seasons, we've missed them for majority of last season and this season. So I feel for Thomas Frank in certain aspects, but the football just won't watch him.
Do you think it's a case of he's just limited as a manager, or he's just maybe doesn't have the tools that he needs? Because at Brentford,
It's a bit
he had some
Potter.
fantastic firepower.
It's a bit Potter-esque. It is. Yeah, but the firepower he had at Brentford, he's also developed those. Some of those, and even players that went on to other clubs, like a Watkins or a Benrahma, like
Tony,
like Mbeumo, Wissa, like he's had other players that he's managed to develop and good. I just think that the expectation, Robbie was right on Monday, like the expectation at Tottenham is going to be a lot different to the expectation at Brentford. If Brentford go on a poor run and they're 15th in the table, no one's going to bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
But with Spurs being 17th last year and then again, like we're really doing this again with arguably probably some players that are better than we had last year. You've added Pelini, you've added Kudus. Yeah, but
Kulusevski and Maddison.
Of course, but we had the same last year. We had Maddison was out for months and months. Kulusevski was out for months and months.
Would that not be a kind of, it's the best way to put it, like a reason why Frank maybe should be given at least one little bit more shot because he needs to have his best players?
Can't keep losing. I don't know. Like,
it's just not worth keeping him.
But I said this. That's why I said it after the Chelsea game. Wait till those players are back. We don't know when those players are back. They might never come back.
Waiting could.
Where
I guess
are
you're right.
they?
Yeah, waiting could be February.
Like, I don't know. Waiting could be February. Waiting could be March. Waiting could be end of the season. I don't know.
I mean, Wes Nina says it's alarming they still have Richarlison at all. Never mind as a starter. He needs to be given more time if that's even possible these days. Merry Christmas, Abs.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Nina. Look, it's not all on Rishi. Like, I like Richarlison. Not that I'm saying he's good enough for Tottenham, but I always say the same thing when it comes to him. I just like the fact that he will give it. Like, he gets it to a point. Like, he will always try and work hard for the badge. Like, that's what I always respect about him.
It's the bare minimum as well, but like in a good way. It's like that's the bare. It's what Bruno Fernandes was complaining about.
And it's just having that little bit of like you get it, and like, I never doubt that when it comes to him. He's not good enough, but
just some bite to him.
It's not his fault that Spurs paid 60 million for him. He's obviously linked with a return back to Everton as well.
Yeah.
If you can get something for Richarlison, absolutely go for it.
How long has he got left on his contract? Is it out in the summer?
Yeah, it must be. I don't actually know. I actually don't know when his contract's up.
His contract up until in 2027. So this summer he'd still have 1 year left.
Yeah, they'll I'm sure. Look, they'll be trying to shift. I think there's a problem also. I think that they're finding it difficult to shift certain players. Why they made Tell's contract permanent or more permanent, I don't know. The Odebert one I can kind of understand because it was only 20 million like a couple seasons ago that came out of nowhere. Brennan Johnson, give me strength. Give me strength.
I like him.
You have him then.
I have him at Wales. He's fantastic with Wales. I'll keep it at that.
Crazy.
We're good with Mbeumo, Cunha, and Ahmad and Mount.
Christopher Hertzy, who said Spurs had less injuries than United and Arsenal last season. We had 16 players out at one time, mate.
I think we had 17.
All right.
That might have been under Eric Ten Hag.
We had 16 players out at one.
No, I remember it. Yeah. I remember at one point we were able to make starting 11. I think. Well, I know you had starting 11 on bench. And
we barely remember. We couldn't even make I think on some of the things we couldn't actually fill the bench. There was someone that we couldn't. Well, there was a game or 2 years we couldn't fill the bench.
Do you remember when we came to you last season? And do you remember our bench? We had enough. We had injuries where we had no one aged between 20 and 29 on the bench.
Yeah.
We had 17, 18, 19, and 30. And our only sub was bringing on Chido Obi for his debut with 2 minutes to go. Yeah, do you remember that?
I do remember
that was a great. No, I'm not trying to compare them because it hits a certain point where once you get past like 8, if it's 8 injuries or 15 injuries, the result's the same. It's all just chaos.
It's just chaos.
You're seeing this in your defence now.
Yeah.
Like your injuries in your defence are costing you. Got 2 clean sheets in 8 games after not conceding a goal in 8 games at one point.
Well, it shows how much we're missing Gabriel as well, and also the threat from set pieces as well. Like, we were scoring a set piece pretty much every game. Gabriel gets injured all of a sudden. We haven't scored in God knows how long, 5-6 games.
We've
been overtaken on the set piece list. So, and also the other thing with injuries is if you're losing those players, then the people coming in have to play more minutes. They're more likely to get injured. It's sort of a repetitive, like hurtful cycle where, then they're more susceptible to be going out, and then you've got an even bigger problem. So, yeah.
Yeah, your injuries are like I know you had the debate with Laurie about the injuries thing, and I get where you were coming from with that.
It's not Laurie. It's not Laurie. I have the issue with.
Sorry,
it's
Robbie, isn't it?
No,
Rob,
I won't let Laurie use it because Rob has not allowed me to use it. So I won't allow Arsenal fans to use it because
I think it's such a valid. It is such a valid argument that people keep beating down. In my opinion.
Of course it is.
Like you lose all your best players, you're not going to play the best football.
Exactly.
We spent 6 months with our front three just being like Garnacho, Højlund. Those are only our last season. They were our only attacking options at one point.
Yeah.
That was it. And Bruno. We had just to rely on Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro set piece goals and headers for about 3 months last season. It was so painful.
I think it's a tribalistic thing where people say that injuries are an excuse, because realistically, if you're missing your best players, it's not an excuse. It's a reason. So obviously, you've got to adapt as best you can to that possible factor, because injuries are part of football. But to not, like, if Man City were to lose Haaland for an ACL injury tomorrow, they're not going to score as many goals as they were before. It's just a simple fact.
Yeah, that is the issue more than with City this season. I think it's a good time to go on City and talk about their possible wish list. Because previously, if it had been, like, Erling Haaland does get these, like, 2 month injuries at points, doesn't he? Like, the last 2 seasons he's missed.
Hopefully another
about
one.
10 mils. Well, personally, I'd never wish ill on anybody, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But because previously it would be Marmoush steps up and scores, De Bruyne steps up and scores. Now, it's basically Foden, and that's it. If Haaland was to go, and he was to get an injury, which he does get muscle injuries here and there because he's so powerful and so quick, and there's so much of him that he does get injured more often. So I do think another goal scorer has got to be really, really high on Man City's wish list this January.
I would think so.
Big time.
I would think so. I mean, whether or not they can do it, but they obviously have got Marmoush as well. But you're comparing Haaland to Marmoush, they're very different, and like.
But I meant in the way of like when Marmoush stepped up second half of last season, and he got a few good goals.
I think as well, like, I actually think midfield is somewhere as well they need to look at. That might be more of a summer thing, like a more of a long-term successor to Rodri, because we still don't really know what version of Rodri we're getting.
Never anything near what he was before.
No, I don't think so.
It's not happening.
But either way, like, I think even half of Rodri is pretty decent, but I think they need a long-term plan for that. It's hard when you have Haaland because the next best thing is never going to be anywhere near as good. Let's be realistic. But they are going to have to find something, because if they do get, and if he does get injured at some point, then
it's a long day.
I don't necessarily think City have the manpower, the firepower that they had in the past, maybe, to be able to do that. Although obviously
they don't. Losing De Bruyne is so huge for them.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I think
You're talking about one of the greatest to ever play in the Premier League. That's what we're talking about.
Easily. Yeah,
Crazy.
De Bruyne's Premier League icon for sure. But yeah, I do think it's got to be DM. Yeah, as you said, because I like Nico Gonzalez.
I like Nico
big
Gonzalez.
time. I think he's fantastic. But DM for sure. Centre back as well, maybe even for Man City.
I think so. As well.
Centre back. It's the spine for Man City. Their out wide flair is
interesting.
Amazing.
They're not linked with Mark Gahey.
They might be towards the end of the season, though.
I think he's gone in January. You don't think he goes in January to something?
I don't think there's any chance he leaves, no.
I think Palace will fancy themselves for the conference. I think Palace will fancy themselves for the conference.
Palace have got to be favourites for the Conference League if they decide to just throw their Prem season. Kind of. If they tune in Conference League and they lock in that knockout stage. Think about Glasner, fantastic knockout stage manager.
Glasner's not actually very happy.
Glasner's fuming.
Glasner's not happy right
now.
Yeah.
Palace are definitely someone that need about. I mean, I've got one of my best mates is a Palace fan, and he's like, we need like 4 signings in January. Big time.
And they're doing well, considering if you're saying they need 4
Glasner
signings.
is doing an absolutely stunning job at Palace this season. They got European football for the first time ever, and then in the transfer window they made £16 million.
Yeah, it's insane.
And he's doing this, and he's gone back, and he's back to their fourth or fifth at the moment, I think. In the
they're fifth, and they're only 2 points off Chelsea. So
they've been
crazy.
Doing exceptional.
2 points off top 4.
Are
they level with us?
Yeah, the level one.
Funny.
Better goal difference.
And the only reason you won that game is because they were knackered.
Yeah. But this is the thing. This is why I'm saying that if they are to win the Conference League, which I think they can, big time, if they can, is if they basically throw their Premier League season.
And do what Spurs do.
If Palace decide that they go, you know what, 12th again, it's fine. Like, we'll take 12th again if it means they can go.
I think any Palace fan would take that, really, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Every day of the week. If you say to Palace fan, would you finish 1 point above relegation but win the Conference League? They're taking that. Anything for more trophies. Like you said, you've got your first trophy in ages and you're on the hunt. You want more.
Hungry.
Palace fans are like, they don't care about the league as long as they stay in it.
No, exactly.
As long as they stay in it, I really don't think Palace fans care too much about the league if they can get that Conference League final. And I think they're probably the best club in that competition.
Yeah.
It's what I mean. Premier League teams so much stronger, both on average and in general, than every other team in league in Europe. Also, when Raul came on the other week, and we were speaking about it, we did a live stream with the Man City Real Madrid game. He agreed with me.
Yeah.
He was like, Premier League teams are literally just here.
Yeah, they are just so much better than everyone else.
Every single time.
But Glasgow needs to be backed, 100%.
But again, to answer your question, Ben, I just don't think Mark Gay would. It doesn't make any sense for anyone involved.
Well,
on
they would
Palace's
get a
side.
transfer fee at least.
They get a transfer fee, but they'd lose their club captain in a competition
And also,
when they're trying to win.
the fee's
a
not going
first
to be
European
very
trophy.
high. You can't demand much in Jan if he's out of contract.
This is what I think. I think clubs will come in for him, and Palace will just say something extortionate. They'll go 45,
if you
50
want
million.
him.
Yeah, and Gay probably
Do
accept
Liverpool need to pay that? That's the thing. Like,
well-
is it worth it for them to sort of push on with their
Probably
season?
not for the rest of this
No,
season.
because they could
They're
get
not
him
going
for
to win the
free
league.
in 6 months' time.
Mm.
It's not like he doesn't want to join Liverpool. He was in the shirt. He did his medical.
Yeah.
He accepted the contract. He said yes. I reckon he probably, unless someone. Oh, it'd be funny if Real Madrid came calling again and the whole Liverpool Madrid thing. But I think unless
It'd be so funny.
it
if
would
they
be
did
very,
that.
very funny.
Do you
But
imagine?
I can't see any club unless they throw something crazy at him beating Liverpool to this signing in the summer.
Yeah,
but
I
even
think he's
then, but then
Liverpool
Gay
bound.
will be able to use the summer to leverage probably a better contract at
Mhm.
Liverpool because he's basically going. I've saved I didn't join last summer. You've saved 30 mil.
Mm.
Give me a higher contract. He'll be a year older, potentially a European trophy winner as well. That I think, all from Palace's side and from Gay's side, it makes no sense to leave in Jan. I just don't think so. No matter unless he was throwing something mental. But here's something as well actually that I saw earlier on today. João Neves. No, not João Neves. Sorry. Ex-Wolves player Neves.
Ruben
Neves.
yeah.
Sorry, that's thinking very much. Is available in January from Saudi. Yeah.
For free. Or
I think for him like 15 to 20 million pounds because he's not signing a new contract with I want to say it's Al Hilal he's playing with at the moment. So the news came out today that basically he is like the Saudi club are like we'll get rid of you in Jan because he can't agree with the new contract because he's on about 350 grand a week. But obviously if he came back to Europe he knows that'll be less. But that is I think a really sneaky good
it
option
says
for
in
any top
Newcastle
16.
open talk to him. I don't know how credible that is. It's a random source that's just popped up on Google, but wouldn't be bad for Newcastle.
Yeah,
that
but
signing.
if you had someone, so you've got Ruben Neves, obviously he's 28 now, I want to say 28 or 29. I believe he's 28.
Yeah.
50
Not bad,
million
Yeah,
quid.
he's
If you can
28,
get him on a
yeah.
half-decent contract, I reckon
You have
that's...
to take some wage cut.
Yeah, he will have to take... Well, you had to, moving from Saudi back to Europe, you've got to take a big... He's not getting paid 350 grand a week anywhere else on the planet.
No.
And I feel like he maybe just wants to come back to Europe, stay in... Obviously, I know he's at the Portugal national team anyway, but, get back in kind of contention in Europe. I really think that's a solid deal there on the table for any top 6 team.
Yeah. I
Any
agree.
big 6 team
Wolves
needs a
could do with
midfielder.
it back as well.
Yeah, Wolves could do with anyone back.
God knows what they're going to do.
Wolves.
Yeah.
I think they accepted their fate a while ago.
Yeah.
This is why I reckon they played better against us and Arsenal recently. You know
Well,
how
they did have a new manager coming as well, to be fair.
Yeah, Rob Edwards, but I think
like Rob
when Premier League teams get when any teams get relegated, they basically
They got nothing to lose,
They always
yeah.
win the next game, almost every single time.
True.
Like I think that's what Wolves.
Yeah,
are
it's so
having
true.
right
'Cause
now.
pressure's off them.
Yeah, pressure's off. I think Wolves. I think they sat down in like kind of beginning of December and went.
Imagine if they just went on like an unbelievable run and
Do a
like won
Leicester
every
again.
single.
Yeah, do what Leicester did
Yeah,
under,
could you imagine? Beat the drop.
Yeah, that'd be incredible. But Leicester obviously went to go win the league. That would be mad. What
Mad.
Wolves win the league next season?
Not win the but just stay up by the skin of their teeth.
If they stay up, fair play to them. But I would give that a 1 in a billion.
Decent odds.
I wonder what the odds are for that.
Dunno.
I'm not offering that to you, by the way.
No, we're not offering it.
I'm not taking that. But yeah, no. And finally, Liverpool. Obviously, I know we touched on Liverpool needing a centre back. But is there any other positions you reckon Liverpool might want to look at? Like
Semenyo, really.
Well, Semenyo, I know. Obviously, as I said, that's the one that's on everyone's list.
I
But
think
like,
they need someone in midfield.
but yeah, you look at Alexis McAllister, who's just not having a great season.
They won't do it in Jan, but that's one for the summer. They need someone in midfield.
Do you reckon it might be another season of gutting a fair, decent number of players?
I don't even know if it's gutting. Well, you say that. I could see them moving on someone like a Gakpo, maybe in the summer or something like that. I could. I don't think they're going to get rid of McAllister or obviously Gravenberch or anyone like that. But Endo, like, I just think there might be a few of those squad players that they.
You think then we might see another very heavy summer from them?
Depends how well they do.
Well, if they sell
But
Salah for 150 million, which is what is rumoured, or 100
What?
million.
Who's buying Salah for?
Well, Saudi are going to pay extortionate money for Salah.
Yeah, but they'd pay massive money for Salah, but I'm thinking 60 or something.
Oh well, they'll
Yeah.
take that as well. To be fair, maybe it was
I
last
don't
summer.
think
it was 100.
anyone's giving 150 million.
Salah's only leaving if the club and Salah agree that he's leaving. And this is what I said about Liverpool. My little theory about if they were to agree. I know obviously he made amends for the Brighton game,
Yeah.
etc. But my theory with this is that They'll sit down in Jan when they come back, and if the conclusion is that Salah's like, you know what, we should stop here, we should end here. You know, we made kind of patched up relations a little bit, gone to AFCON, come back. Liverpool will think of a fee that will be something like 60, and they'll just wait for like 4
TNT is saying
teams.
Saudi could offer up to 100 million for Salah. So if you
I
if
do
you
not
get that on
believe
the
that.
well,
70,
I don't know what it is, but
I reckon 70 odd.
I can't see it being any more than 60. Because I think Liverpool will just kind of pick a fee, because it'll be pure profit for Liverpool. It's not like they're trying to balance any sort of books here. Because he signed multiple contracts. His amortization finished about 3-4 years ago at this point. So it'll be pure. Whatever Liverpool get from that will just be pure
he's
profit.
got one
on the
more year,
books.
right? After
one
this,
more year plus an option.
Yes, I think it makes sense for them to take the money and reinvest it into the squad.
100% makes sense.
Do you think they should maybe tell Salah when he comes back in Jan that it's done?
I think they
Like, do you reckon they should be a bit more forceful, or should they sit down and let Salah come to the decision?
No, I think that there'll be. I think there's so many conversations that would have been going on behind closed doors. I think that there'll be a conversation that's been going on from last week. Part of me still thinks he won't come back after AFCON. Genuinely.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I remember saying, and I remember Flex said the same thing a few weeks ago as well, that he'd already played his last game for Liverpool. But I think maybe now he's played his last game for Liverpool. He got the assist, 2-0 win.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
But during AFCON, because he is also physically closer to Saudi as well.
I don't think that necessarily makes a difference.
Actually, maybe he isn't, because it's in Morocco.
I don't think that makes a difference.
I don't know. But I don't know. We're just like, but either way, I do. Yeah, I think January, I'd give it 65% chance, 70% chance that he's gone.
I'd say 60.
Yeah. I am just completely guessing here, by the way. No, don't quote me on any of this. But regardless, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Hope you guys. Yeah, what you got planned for the rest of the week?
I'm here tomorrow. I don't actually think I'm here Friday.
Alice was going to potentially.
I don't think I'm here Friday.
Wow.
I know. And then Saturday we've got watch along here for Spurs Liverpool, and then we've got Saturday football show. So we're doing back to back.
Oh, good stuff.
Double bill. So I expect to see you all there.
Nice.
And then I'm off on holiday.
Make sure to tune in, everybody, guys. But remember, like, subscribe, leave a comment, everything. Leave below what do you think about what we've been talking about. You know, what are your thoughts on what's your wish list, both, you know, football and non-football, but for your club and all of that. Apart from that, I'll be back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. to go through all the latest news, anything here. Not quite sure who's joining me next. Ooh, messed that sentence up. But, you know, tune in at 5 p.m. to find out. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.
Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days. We're in for a great show today, guys.
Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
We're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah. Foden
I'd
88,
say
Saka
that's about
87.
right,
I think that's wrong.
And nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance of Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
know?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions:
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still
You're
there.
in trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champions.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title race.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You'll never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.